Good morning. Good Monday. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Monday, May 6th. Hope your Cinco de Mayo was good and you didn't get too drunk. This is Power Hour number 5. As we know, we're going to do these every Monday and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Um, I think this is the best time to do it just for the fact that the markets are open and I can share my trading screen live with you guys. So we're going to continue the education process, but today we're going to start talking about a hot topic that everybody's talking about, and it seems like the next logical step to move forward to, but we're going to also expand on education process, as I said, and on technical analysis. Hope you're reading your books, you're doing your homework, and then I'll answer questions. Robinhood under attack. Hello, Megan. Not sure what kind of attack we're talking about. My Robinhood app is working. Let's see if it's working. Yeah, it seems like it. Anyway, I just bought something actually on my small account, which I'll share with you guys. I'll share actually what I'm doing in that account as of today. As of last week, we put a video out. I'm up about 120%. Look, you can call it luck, you can call it whatever. I'm actually waiting until my pattern day trader. It wasn't a violation, obviously. I did 3 of them. That's how I doubled the account on Canopy Growth, which that stock has pulled. Luckily, I did do the day trading. If I had held on, sometimes it does make sense to take profits when they're that massive and they're quick. So with that said, yeah, I wouldn't worry about those things, Megan. Everybody's suing everybody. So with that said, let's get into it. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I actually follow quite a bit, and I use it when I'm trading. You guys will learn all these um, all this all these shortened versions or acronyms. KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. To me, that works. The other thing that actually I'm going to start putting out some general videos out about why I'm against day trading, why I think they're stock jockeys, why I think they're flash in a pan, why I think this is not a sprint for me anyway. It has never been. It's a marathon. Look, if you're squeezed on time, sorry, things are not built. And one other thing at the start I want to mention, I watched the whole 5 hours of Q&A and Berkshire Hathaway's shareholder meeting from Omaha, Nebraska this weekend on CNBC. I'm not a huge fan of CNBC, as you guys know, especially Jim Cramer, but I highly, highly recommend to listen to it, to listen to Warren Buffett. Look, man, the guy is 94. His partner in crime, Charlie Munger, he passed away at 99 and a half. And you don't know how many more years you're going to listen to this guy's wisdom. I mean, look, the guy has built an absolute amazing class organization over the last 60 years. And there really almost made me teary-eyed. There was this gentleman. He was a doctor in New York City. He started investing in Berkshire Hathaway. This goes to show the power of long term. So I want you guys really pay attention to it. But please, when you have time, just go listen to this man answer questions at the age of 94. And, his playbook. I mean, it's been evident. Buy and hold obviously is his thing. But in this day and age, we just don't pay attention to long-term stuff anymore, right? Because we just want the instant gratification. Yes, today is Monday, Rick. Well, that's Chris's problem. See, that's Chris's problem. When Chris shows up, I'll yell at him. You missed that one. Yes, it's Monday today. Apologies for that. Actually, I didn't even catch that. But it's Monday. It's live. So going back to that, The gentleman's name was Sandy Grassman or Grossman. I'm not sure. I don't but this is fact. He started investing in Berkshire Hathaway in 1955. He was putting $10,000 a year every year. He was a doctor, obviously. He's well-to-do, but that's not the issue. The issue is, about a year and a half ago, I think, he passed away. And he handed his wife a little piece of paper. On this little piece of paper, his wife didn't even know he was investing in Berkshire Hathaway. They had a great life. He had a full life. He took care of people, obviously. And when the wife discovered what this piece of paper was, it was hundreds of thousands of shares of Berkshire Hathaway that he never touched. And he reinvested and kept investing and believing in Warren Buffett and investing in Berkshire Hathaway. Now, the wife finds out that this little piece of paper, literally it was a little piece of paper. And you guys should, this was in the Q&A. And she was there. The wife was there. You can Google it, I forget the names, but she found out that this little piece of paper that he started investing in 1955, year after year after year, okay, was worth over $1 billion with a B, dollars, billion. Okay, this is the power of compounding. This is the power of investing. Yes, you can trade. Yes, you can day trade. Yes, you can do all these things, get rich quick schemes. So this $1 billion+ is now in her possession, and she's in her late 80s as well. So, obviously she has, she has kids and all that stuff. After taking care of everybody, what does she do with that solid $1 billion with a B? Okay. She literally walks into Albert Einstein School of Medicine in New York City, hands them the piece of paper, gifts them the piece of paper, which is worth $1 billion. Okay. And the School of Medicine, and she says, under one condition, this is yours, which is for in perpetuity, every single student that goes through here to become a doctor gets free tuition. Think about this. Think about the power of compounding. Think about the power of investing. And now hundreds of kids, I'm not going to call them kids, but people who want to become doctors are going to get a free education. At the moment, I think Albert Einstein School of Medicine has 150 students, and they announced it. They called them general meeting. The students had no clue that this was going to happen. And she was there. She got on the podium and she announced it, that she's gifting that whole $1 billion to that school. And people went nuts. I was like, wow, right? So this is the power of investing. This is the power of humanity. This is the power of paying it forward. And that's what I'm trying to do, on the other channel and this channel, to my level, to my small increment of help to people who need it. I'm very fortunate of being, for being where I'm at in life, financially and every other way. I'm grateful. And pass it forward, people. Build some wealth, pass it forward. Enjoy life, because what you do in these 80 years, or potentially, hopefully, if you're lucky, 90, like Warren Buffett, on this planet, comes and goes. I know it's a long time, but time flies. And what you do in life and how many people show up at your funeral and what they talk about you is the thing. I'm not trying to be morbid. We're going to get into the market in a minute, but this hit me so hard that this woman didn't even know her husband was investing. And what does she do with the money? Philanthropy. Do the best you can, right? There are people in need. As bad as you may think you are in whatever situation you're in, there are people that are worse, and give them a hand and help them out. So anyway, with that said, let's get into it. So I religiously follow moving averages. Okay. What are moving averages? Okay, moving averages are calculated to identify the trend direction. Remember my acronyms: KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. On top of that, trade. The trend is your friend. You got to trade with the trend. Okay, sometimes you go against the trend. You can make some money, but on overbought and oversold things. But ultimately, you have to trade with the trend. And so moving averages actually smooth out the violent moves on a day-to-day basis in stocks. I mean, or in any asset class that you're trading. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. We'll see that. But to me, this is the first form of keep it simple, stupid. Here's your homework for until Friday. Look at charts, right? You guys started looking at charts. We talked about patterns. You're learning about all those things. I'm sure all of you have some sort of trading account somewhere, and these platforms offer you all this for free. Start putting moving averages on these stocks, and simply start watching the miracle of stocks crossing moving averages to the upside or to the downside. That's as simple as I can put it, but the explanation of a moving average is a trend following or lagging, because there is no leading indicators. They're all lagging. But what this does is smooths out and keeps you in a winning trade, right? You just ride the train. And, they're very powerful. And the longer the period of a moving average is, the greater the lag, obviously. But, and I will show you on my charts how naked my charts are. You guys should start trading with naked charts. Learn on naked charts first. Naked charts meaning there's no indicators on it. And then you can, advance slowly to hopefully my level. And so I'll share you guys, my screen obviously with you, and you'll see what indicators I have on my screens, what I watch every day. If I'm watching something, if I'm exiting or entering something, why I'm doing it. Obviously, these moving averages could be in varying lengths, right? It could be 20, 50, 10, 12. I mean, run the gamut. You can adjust it on your own. And there are two types of moving averages. One is called a simple moving average. The formula for the simple moving average is on the left, screenshot. Now, simple moving average is what it means, right? So let's say if you're doing a 20-day moving average, simple moving average, you'll add the last 20 days closing price on the equity or the underlying asset and divide it simply by 20. And that's the formula up there, A plus 1, 2, 3 divided by N. And it gives you the formula. You guys can take screenshots of these. But if you bought the technical analysis books, this will all be in there. And the second version of moving averages are called exponential moving averages. The formula is a little bit more complicated. I personally like using EMA. I call it EMA, exponential moving averages, for the fact that they're smoother and they're quicker. So quicker meaning they react to the price movement faster. Those two types of moving averages. If you're going to day trade something, I definitely recommend exponential moving averages on your 2-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, 60-minute charts. Those are the two types: simple moving average, exponential moving average. The differences are that on the EMA, meaning exponential moving average, it puts more emphasis on the recent data points. Like if you're doing a 50-day EMA, putting on your chart, it's a weighted average, so it gives more importance to the last, let's say, 30 days if you're doing a 50-day average. So that's why it moves faster, as you guys can see on the example chart below. The SMA versus EMA. The EMA is the orange line or the red line, and SMA is the blue line. I mean, they both do the same thing. They're both trend following, but EMA is a lot more sensitive to the recent price movements than SMA is. And so key takeaways. I'm going to just read these to you guys. This is from my Bible to you. A moving average is a stock indicator commonly used in technical analysis. Correct. So the moving average helps to level the price data over a specified period by creating a constantly updated average price. Absolutely. And a simple moving average is a calculation that takes the arithmetic mean of a given set prices over a specific number of days. Just like I said, you could do 10-day, 20-day, 50-day. I will, when I show you my charts, you guys will see what I'm looking at. An exponential moving average is weighted average that gives greater importance to the price of stock in more recent days, which is more sensitive to the, it's more weighted towards the later days of your moving average that you're setting up. So, so with that said, this is part of the education, right? Start adding these little tidbits to your charts when you're watching charts, right? You don't have to do what I do. You're going to find what's comfortable for you at some point. But I highly, highly, highly recommend that this should be definitely part of your arsenal when you're looking at charts, okay? In fact, let me just share my screen and show you guys what I watch. So this is my screen, as you guys are pretty familiar with by now. So let's take a look at it, I'll show you the charts. So let's look at the, what do you guys want to look at today? Let's look at NVIDIA, right? One of my favorites for now. This is the daily chart of NVIDIA. I guess I have few. You remember the lines, guys? On the first couple of episodes, we talked about static resistance lines and dynamic resistance lines. Dynamic is this one right here that I'm highlighting. That goes back a couple of years. Here's a low. You connect it to this low, and then that's where support is going to be on this dynamic line. And then as far as other support is old lows, or that stock makes a higher high from, are becoming support, right? So there is 663, that's a support level. There is 762, that's a support level. And then now we're talking about, I'm going to eliminate this because this got taken out. Now there is resistance lines. Look at it today, okay? What is happening today? Today, one of the resistance lines is being taken out. Why was this resistance? Because it was the old high that that stock came down and made a lower low, right? And NVIDIA is taking that out today. NVIDIA is up about 28 bucks on the day, and it's breaking resistance. So if it breaks resistance, the next resistance line is going to be the old high, right? Which is right here, which is I'm highlighting now. That's the last old high that's left as far as resistance is concerned, and that's at 973.89. You guys will have access to all of these if you're trading with a broker, any broker really, Thinkorswim or Schwab or Webull or Robinhood or whatever not. So let's talk a little bit about the moving averages, and let's talk a little bit about my setup on the charts. Here's the way I have every single stock set up, okay? On the upper left-hand corners, you guys will see I have some intraday charts, 1 minute, 10 minute. 1 minute goes back 2 days. This is every single bar is a minute. 10 days, 10-minute chart goes 10 days, okay? And 60-minute chart goes 2 months. But on the 1 year, I always have 200 trading days, which is a year. There's 200 trading days in every year, by the way, out of 365. As we all know, weekends are closed. And but I can extend this chart with a click of a mouse to 2 years, to 3 years, to 5 years, to forever. Okay. Again, this is not special to me. My platform gives me this. You guys will, I'm sure, will have access to it as well. But since we talked about moving averages, let's talk about it, right? So here's the light blue line. I mean, looking, you can color code any way you like. I just like these colors. For my eyes, it suits better. I'm used to it. The light blue line is the 200-day exponential moving average, right? I mean, obviously, NVIDIA has been above it forever. So when a stock is above a moving average, that means it's uptrending, okay? So we can go back 2 years. Actually, NVIDIA crossed the 200-day moving average, going to the upside right here. which was about 172, and that was in late January, early February of 2023, about a year and 2 months ago. Okay. Well, you're still in the stock. If you're a long-term buy and holder, you are in the stock still, and stock is 916. That's pretty good return. I don't think you're going to make that kind of money on day trading. But let's go back to the shorter version. Now, this kind of orangish kind of line is the 50-day moving average, exponential moving average. Okay. Shorter version, obviously, and then more sensitive to price activity. So as far as I'm concerned, the last buy signal, if you follow just, stock crossing the moving averages to the upside or to the downside, simple as keep it stupid as possible. Last time it did that, it crossed to the upside through the gold 50-day moving exponential moving average. Stock is at 438-ish right here. This is the day close above it. Open, close. Let's see what the close is. It closed at 450. So that was your buy signal at 450. It may pull back to it, but then it crossed under it this day right here on the big bar day where everything was selling off and Nasdaq was selling off. And that was at 762, 450, 762 is over 300 points. I mean, like you had the 300-point uptrend. If you didn't make money within those 300 points, that's your problem, right? It's as simple as I can put it. And then I have this white line, which is the 20-day exponential moving average. I like watching all three, 20-day, 50-day, and 200-day exponential moving average. I have one other indicator on my chart to show me if volatility is increasing or decreasing. You guys should pay attention that that kind of purple line is something called Bollinger Bands, right? And you guys will learn that in your technical trading books. Bollinger Bands basically is not a miracle that the stock is kind of moving within the band, but once the bands start opening up, that means volatility is picking up. And you guys should really pay attention to that indicator. I like it. I've been using it for years. And the last two things, three things on the bottom of the chart. I'm moving my cursor right, left. Volume days are all color coded. Up days are green, down days are red. And then I have two more indicators. This, again, light blue line is something called on balance volume. There's a formula to it. You guys can look at it. It's very complicated. But what it does is it shows you if money is flowing into the equity or is money flowing out of the equity. Okay. I like watching that on top of the volume bars. And last one is something called, everybody probably knows about it. It's called RSI, Relative Strength Index. My RSI is set for 14. You can set it for different days. 14 is the standard. And that's it. Those are my charts. If you look at every single one of my daily charts, right? We can look at Meta. Same thing right there. Just 20, 50, and 200-day moving averages with the volume bars and RSI and on balance volume. Honestly, I cannot. There's Tesla, same thing. Nothing changes, right? Once you set the moving averages, you stay with it, right? But then hopefully you guys will figure out what's working out for you. And hopefully you guys you have any questions, please save them for later. Good morning, Driven Dad. Good morning, everybody. So next one, we're going to talk a little bit about, let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin, right? Everybody talks about it. I mean, it's been phenomenal. This is, I just took a screenshot of the screen. This is 1 year Bitcoin, and this is going back from the inception of Bitcoin, which was in the pennies, obviously. So here's the little 1 year version of Bitcoin, okay? Well, Megan, if you missed this class, you can always watch it. We talked about moving averages, showed my screen to you guys, what I watch, but you can catch up. So here's Bitcoin, right? What is Bitcoin? I mean, everybody has an opinion of what Bitcoin is. I'm going to do a really good video. You guys will catch it, hopefully. The headline is going to be Michael Saylor, right? He is the CEO of MicroStrategy. He is the biggest believer in Bitcoin on the planet at the moment, and he has been for years. And the headline is going to be "Gambler or a Genius," or "A Genius or a Gambler." You guys will have to watch that video when I put it out. So what is my opinion of Bitcoin? I have Bitcoin. I have very small, maybe 10% of my wealth in Bitcoin. I think everybody should own a little bit of Bitcoin, not more than 10%. Bitcoin has done phenomenally well. What is Bitcoin? It's a digital currency, right? There are many, many coins, as they call it, from Dogecoin to shit coins. But the top two that people know most is obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? And they're both kind of moved similarly, but Bitcoin obviously has taken the lead. And as of an hour ago, or a couple hours or a day ago, price was 64,000 per Bitcoin. Now you can buy Bitcoin all the way up to the 8th decimal, so you don't have to have $64,000 to get into this. You can buy 0.00001 Bitcoin for $6 or whatever, 64 cents. The point is not that, though. I own Bitcoin. I will never sell Bitcoin. Will I increase my holdings in Bitcoin at these levels? Probably not. But I will do like a lot of mainstream videos going forward, besides education and all these things, right? I will have a lot to say about our Federal Reserve, and not just this one. I will have a lot to say about administrations. I will have a lot to say about what these politicians are doing to our kids' future. And some of you may like it, get turned off and unsubscribe, and some of you may like it and tell your friends, and then they will subscribe. So I'm not worried about the YouTube channel. What I'm worried about is what these people are doing to this country, and how they're actually taxing people unnecessarily. We all know about printing money and all that good stuff, right? There is one thing that we've been all dealing with over the last, I don't know, right, 2-3 years. It's called inflation. What is inflation? And it's all going to be in these videos. And that inflation is almost like a tax hike on the average American, right? We're paying a lot more for everything, and then to kill inflation, Federal Reserve had to do certain things, which they have done in the history of this country, which is also not good. Okay. And this has nothing to do with Jay Powell or the current Federal Reserve. All Federal Reserves going back 30 years, they have changed their colors. They're like chameleons, right? They're doing things they're not supposed to do, but then they have to do what they have to do, I guess. But I will have a lot of videos coming out about those things. You guys should tune in and check them out. So this is Bitcoin. Look, phenomenal, right? From the pennies. This is only like a 15-year-old deal. Mr. Satoshi, if he really exists, I'm not sure. There's a lot of rumors that he does or he does not exist, but he created this amazing digital asset that seems to get a hold of everybody's attention. And now, my biggest concern when I bought my Bitcoin, and I bought it at like $80 years ago, right? My biggest concern was this, that a lot of black market or dark web stuff is happening on it, and they're using this to launder money, buy drugs, illegal things, and which happened. I'm not going to deny it, but I didn't care less. Just like I said, in my trading account, when I showed you guys, I went from 50 to 150 in 2 months. That's 50 grand I can afford to lose. So whatever I invested in Bitcoin at that time, I can afford to lose that tomorrow. Well, what was the biggest problem with Bitcoin, in my opinion, not the validity of it, not the proof of concept, not the proof of task. What it was is is that the government, right? Again, our lovely government, or any government, can mess these things up. They can make it illegal. They can do whatever. Well, this latest move that came from about 40,000 to 60 or 70,000, the reason that I think happened is because that fear is gone now, right? Now you have BlackRocks, you have Vanguards, you have institutional money, you have a lot of corporate money coming in, and they created something called ETFs, right? ETFs is exchange traded funds for Bitcoin with very, very low slippage, very, very low cost. You can get into Bitcoin now. And you guys can Google Bitcoin ETFs. There's various ones of them. Don't look at the leverage ones like BITX because that's super highly leveraged. You don't want that. Yeah, Megan, you're right. I mean, to a point anyway. And the thing that I love about Bitcoin, okay, there's one thing that I love about Bitcoin, that you cannot make more of it, right? We can make more of everything on this planet, everything, right? Look at our dollar, trash can, right? Toilet paper. They just keep printing more of it. And that's what creates the inflation. Inflation's actually dummy version of explanation is too many dollars chasing too few assets. And that's what's happening, right? They keep inflating and your dollar is losing value. Like you could, to make it simple, you could have gone to Costco, let's say, 10 years ago with $100, okay? You would have walked out with 12 items because Costco always prices their items at $7.99, $8.99. You go back to Costco 10 years later with the same $100. Today, you cannot get out of Costco with more than 5 or 6 items because the prices have gone up tremendously on everything that we buy. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you keep printing money. Then you keep just and adding trillions and trillions of dollars to the debt load of this country and putting it on the back of my kids. I'm going to be dead in 20 years, hopefully. Not hopefully, but maybe later. But this is what they do. And they suck the life out of the average American, right? Which is complete and utter bullshit. But so Bitcoin, there's supposedly, again, not supposedly, it's proven now, there's only 21 million of these things out there, okay? And then there are people called miners, right? They have the sophisticated equipment. That's why NVIDIA has done also well, because they use the graphics cards. And the way Satoshi set up the system, look, I mean, we hear about hackings and all kinds of things, right? Even the IRS got hacked, right? Bitcoin hasn't been able to be hacked for 15 years. I mean, what a system this guy built, right? Because it depends on so many nodes to get hacked at the same time. And every single transaction is on something called blockchain, right? If you do buy a Bitcoin, sell a Bitcoin, send a Bitcoin, it's all on the blockchain. And I think it's genius. This whatever this thing you guys want to call, okay, digital asset, digital gold, now it's being called. Look, I own it. Will I buy it here? No. But then let's go to our technical analysis, right? What do you guys see here? Do you guys see an uptrend or a downtrend? It's a clear uptrend, right? And it's been uptrending. If you look at the max version of it, and this is yes, it has these violent pullbacks. Granted, you have to have the stomach to go to withstand these. But if you're like a Warren Buffett type, you buy it and forget it type, or add to it, dollar cost average into it, I think Bitcoin is a valid investment that everybody should have some, not all their eggs in one basket. Ethereum, same thing. Litecoin on the Lightning Network, that's same thing. I think these things are here to stay. Now that BlackRocks and Vanguards are coming in and money is pouring into these ETFs, right? The public is pouring money into these ETFs. So now the government risk is out of it. I mean, if BlackRock is in it, BlackRock is the government. If BlackRock is doing it, government's not going to go say, okay, we're just going to make this illegal now. It's not going to happen. So that fear is gone. And that's why this latest push came in. And everybody and their uncle talked about this halving event on the internet. Everybody had an opinion. All the YouTube jockeys were like, oh, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Nothing happened, obviously. Although after every halving meaning cut it in half, basically every 4 years or so, the miners are going to get half as much for their work in Bitcoin as they did previously. And so now this happened in April sometime, about, a couple, 3 weeks ago. And the other thing is, Bitcoin has been mined up to 19 million out of the 21 million has been mined already, okay? So there's only 2 million of these things left, right? This is not something like a company, let's say. Apple, let's say, right, can always issue more shares. The US government can always print more fiat currency. Okay. What else? I mean, anybody can inflate whatever they have, and that's called dilution, right? Dilution means you are basically going to issue more of the underlying asset. Well, there is no dilution in Bitcoin. It can't be, because it's set at 21. Once the mine number gets up to 21, that's it. We're done. Ethereum is not like that. All the other coins are not like that, right? They can issue more coin. Yeah, XRP, I'm not sure. Yeah, well, Ethereum ETF, they're working on it, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen in the US. But I'll answer the questions later, and my eyes go into that. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody should have about 10% of their value in Bitcoin, and this is something definitely the Warren Buffett style is going to be. Do not trade this thing, okay? A lot of people, again, YouTube jockeys on the internet, oh, I'm trading this shit coin, that coin, this coin. Those are called altcoins or alternative coins. I don't pay any attention to it. I have enough to do with my equities and options and whatever I'm trading. I don't pay attention to it. I bought it. I hold it. I'm not going to be a jockey on this one either. This is not a quick, get rich quick scheme. I think it's valid. I think it's amazing. And until proven otherwise, I'm a believer. I've been a believer since $80, and I'm going to be a believer. And I've never sold it, never bought more. Maybe that's my problem, but I have enough of it. It's grown into a major part of my, asset base. But I'm going to hold it. I'll just give it to my kids. Whatever. I'm just, I think, what's happening now, if we can look at the charts again, technically, a lot of people are analyzing this pattern now, which I will do with you guys in a minute, and then I'll answer questions. It's in an uptrend, undeniable. If you put a moving average onto this thing, 50-day moving average is getting pretty close, actually. All it's doing is digesting the last move from 40,000 to 73,000, right? These moves do happen. Same thing happened in NVIDIA, digested the move that it had, or on Apple or Google or whatever, right? On any stock, this happens. Stocks move up. There's a digestion period, and this is what's happening on Bitcoin, right? It's gone between, let's say, the high was 73, then went down to 62, then went back up to 70, back down. So basically, it's just digesting the move that it had. This looks okay. Remember the patterns that I showed you guys last week, our last power hour? This is really, really looking like a bull flag. Bull meaning bullish, going up. Bear means down. In our world, there was a flag that was established, and then now it's just digesting, going sideways. And the next leg up out of this pattern is going to be the breakout, right? Obviously, you guys will need to watch the volume and everything else, but the next move up should be the measurement of this move is up here. I think it's about 110-ish, maybe 100 to 110. And then it'll do digesting or pull back and whatever. But I'm a believer. I have nothing more or nothing less to say about Bitcoin, but I will do those videos about Michael Saylor, genius or gambler. So with that said, if you guys have any questions, shoot it. Let's see. Tiger Meg or Megan says things. Yeah, digital store of value. Yep. Long-term investment. Correct. Yep. Any questions? I know I got that. No questions. You guys are all being shy. Okay, ask me some questions. Okay, well, let me go back to my screen and share my screen for another 10 minutes with you guys. Here is actually, this is a surrogate. This is a 2 times leveraged Bitcoin ETF called BITX. It trades enough, but this is leveraged, so don't do this. Oh, okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about a couple of things that I'm looking at in my small account. I have bought 250 shares of Serve Robotics in my account. It's up 18 cents today, 7%. I bought it at 242. Now it's at 262. Okay, you guys know that we had the CEO of Serve Robotics. Now they're a public company. Those little robots that deliver food with those bug eyes, right? That's that company right there, which is backed by Uber and Nvidia. I bought it at 262. It came public at 4, by the way. So it was as high as 475. It's very new. Like it came public with a reverse merger. I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is the 13th trading day of Serve, SERV. I'll buy it. I hold it. Hopefully it'll get up to 354. I'll chuck it out, sell it, make a little bit more money in the small account. The other thing I'm watching on the small account are the couple of stocks. I'm still not able to day trade until tomorrow because of the pattern day trader rules. So the activity on that account may be a little less. But let's look at a couple of things I'm paying attention to. Where I doubled the account with, well, Canopy Growth. Canopy Growth is a marijuana stock. Okay. Again, you guys can see. Do you guys see mine? The same 3 moving averages: 20 EMA, 50 EMA, 200 EMA. I mean, look, it was a phenomenal that day. April 30th, stock went from 8 to 15, literally in a couple of 3 hours with massive volume. There is, by the way, I'm going to start talking about shorting things. Shorting meaning selling before you're owning it so you can make money on the downside. But there is a massive, massive short position in the stock. The stock had these crazy runs before and then it digested. So follow my cursor. It went from literally like $4 to close to $20 in a matter of like 5 days. Imagine if you're trading options in those 5-6 days, right? And so I'll get into more options next this Friday coming up on Power Hour number 6. And I'm closely watching this one. CGC is the symbol. I'm closely watching Riley, RILY. It's down $1.20, but it's doing exactly what I like. I started buying that about 30-31 in my big account, but I'm going to start looking into it in the small account. I can buy 5 shares or 10 shares or 20 shares. I'm expecting a move back to 40. And lastly, what I'm watching is something you guys probably have eaten already. Remember Beyond Meat? You guys remember Beyond Meat, right? Okay. So that's Beyond Meat right there. That's the intraday chart. And I bought options on Beyond Meat today in my little account. I think I bought 5 of them. I bought the June $10 calls. See, I'm giving you my trades. Full transparency. This is June calls expire 3rd Friday of June, meaning June 21st. So I have about 48, 49 days, including weekends. And so the stock has been trending up. It's breaking through my moving averages, giving me actually on Friday, it gave me a buy signal, breaking through the 50-day EMA, which is right here. And when that happens, I buy. And then when it crosses down, I sell. And that's the first, simplest way of looking at it. Here's the 200-day moving average. And on the last earnings report a few weeks ago, it was decent. But now, talk about holding the bag on this thing. Okay, now this is 2 years. You guys see this? You guys see this on the moving 200-day moving average, how this thing is solidly below it forever, right? And then this is the 3-year. Now, people, pay attention. Upper left-hand corner. Remember what I said about charts technical analysis. What do we want on charts? We want them to go from lower left-hand corner to the upper right-hand corner. This is doing the exact opposite, meaning it's in a massive downtrend. This is going from upper left-hand corner to the lower right-hand corner. We don't want that, right? I mean, you could want that, obviously, if you're shorting the damn thing. That's why there's a massive short interest in this thing as well. Hedge funds are shorting this thing. And this is 5-year, okay? And this is as long as it goes back, okay? It's from the IPO days. So here's a stock that was as high as 240. And then during the pandemic, towards the end of the pandemic, it went back to 220. Now it's $8. Now, does that mean it's a bargain? No. But now it's kind of changing its colors. Why am I saying that? It's the first time in God knows how long, right? You guys can put your moving averages on. It is kind of curling up, right? It had these little moves. You guys can see my cursor move up and down, right? It has these moves. This is called right here. Here, you know, let's draw our support and resistance lines. Here's a static one that is support, right? Right here between, let's say, 5.5 and 6. And the resistance lines. Now, can we draw a dynamic resistance line, class? Of course we can. There is this high, there is this high, and there is this high, right? So about, if you guys notice, all these highs are lower highs and lower lows. So is it going to turn around here and explode, go up? I'm not sure. Am I going to trade it if it pops to 12? Yeah, absolutely. So short term, it's kind of curling up, doing the right things. Would I put all my money in it? No. I buy a few options and then for June and, you know, try to make a few bucks. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't put too much money in it. But so anyway, anyway. So, any questions? Let's see. Ask your questions. Yes, Chris is not here yet. I think he's still working out. Do you hold MicroStrategy? No, I did trade MicroStrategy. Actually, I made a ton of money on the short side. I'm going to talk about that, Megan, on the separate video because it's really, really detailed. Like, is MicroStrategy basically a surrogate for Bitcoin? I think it is, but then it's also a company. You know, it's a high tech, it's an IT company, right? And but it has a premium built into it. You can buy the Bitcoin ETF than buying MicroStrategy. But I will break all that down in a video. Scott, thank you. Do you prepare your own tax? Somebody's putting these questions up. Who's doing that? Is that Chris? Yeah, that's Chris, I think. Okay, you asked me about taxes a lot. No, I don't prepare my own tax. You could use TurboTax though, definitely. Kind of a leverage trade. Oh, Chris is putting himself on. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here? But
Yeah,
you're not on the screen, bro. Oh,
I
by the
know.
way, somebody up that see, he's here. He changed the Monday edition. He yeah. There you go.
My
Uh,
mind is still on Friday. I didn't want to work yet.
okay, I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Where are you? I'm not sure. Anyway, good.
No, I don't have my camera on. That's why.
Okay, you don't have your camera on it? Okay. So class is being done. Chris, yeah, Chris is being done, man. We're like you know, we're in Gotham City, New York.
I am Batman.
So if you guys missed I think this was pretty good. If you guys have any other questions, please put them up. I have like 5 more minutes. So I told you
Hey,
guys what I'm
I
doing
got
in
a
the little
question for
account.
you
Okay.
that I think a lot of people may be wondering, especially when it comes to doing technical analysis and um, looking at charts and stuff. What are a few of the good charts that you would recommend to go um, to at least study, understand them, not necessarily be on that platform, but at least to look at them, be able to draw the lines so you can do your different moving
Okay.
averages and stuff. What would you recommend there?
I did that actually at the start. Were you watching?
Oh,
But
no, I
no,
wasn't.
I did that at the start. Like I put up some charts. I talked about what I'm personally watching, how my screen is set up. So I
Okay.
did that at the start with my 20, 50, 200-day moving averages. The other thing is, you know, I showed them a few charts that they can follow, but you know, this is something that all of you must pay attention to. Moving averages are key if you want to trade with the trend. If you don't want to go against it, that's a different story. Yes, Megan, I did trade MicroStrategy. Let me put that up for you. Okay, so this is MicroStrategy live. Okay, you guys are seeing my screen. It's basically following the Bitcoin chart, but what happened is that you know, as you guys can see, I have my static. Actually, yeah, here's Chris. So here's my 200-day EMA, exponential moving average on MicroStrategy. Here's my 50-day, same colors, right? And here's my 20-day. Okay, I'm highlighting it. There you go. So MicroStrategy went from 500 to 2,000, while Bitcoin went from 40,000 to 73,000. Okay. But when it went to 2,000, I kind of figured the numbers that MicroStrategy had close to $400 of extra cushion per share built into it, because you know how many shares how many coins they're holding, right? And then I will talk in detail about in the videos, give you the guys the breakdown, but I figured there is solid $400 to $500 extra cushion in there. And actually a lot of people shorted it. I shorted it as well. It's an expensive stock, obviously. You have to have the funds to do it, but I did it through derivatives, options. And then stock, after hitting 2,000, it hit basically 1,000 about 2.5 weeks later, right? And all of that premium has come out of it, except there's just a little bit of it. But MicroStrategy is not just Bitcoin surrogate anymore. They have a company. And I think Michael Saylor and his crew is going to do amazing things to build on the blockchain or build on the Bitcoin platform. There's a lot more to come from this company. But as a surrogate, meaning Bitcoin goes up, the stock will go up. Bitcoin goes down, the stock will go down, which is pretty evident, right? It went from 2,000 to 1,000. Why? It's because Bitcoin went from 73,000 to 53,000, right? Now, but you look at the percentages. Bitcoin goes from high of 73 to down to 53,000 in a couple of weeks. That's about 30%, right? But then MicroStrategy goes from 2,000 to 1,000. That's about 50%. So it's like a turbocharged version of Bitcoin. And you got to have the balls, you got to have the stomach to trade this thing, and you got to have the money to trade this thing. The options are extremely expensive. Implied volatility, which we're going to talk about on Friday, extremely high. But let's look to finish it off. Let's look at our dynamic and resistance lines. Okay. So I had a support line on the stock right here, a highlighted one, right about 1040, because this was the low. That's how you do that. These red lines were drawn after the stock started breaking down. Okay. So it held its support. Actually, in my small account, I did buy like 0.7 shares of this and sold it actually on all of it on Friday. I made like $140, but that's only like $100. That's all I can buy in the small account. In the big account, I trade options on this. But here's the deal. This stock for the last 3 weeks has been making lower lows. As you guys can see, this stair-step pattern, it's like a 5-way pattern right here. And it's making lower highs. So it's creating a lot of resistance for itself, right? So this line right here is resistance line number 1 at 1394. And now the stock, price is moving towards that 1291 as of the second. The second one is the next high, which is 1578. The next static resistance line is at 1741. And the next one is the all-time high, which stock started, collapsing from or coming down from, is 2002. So those are your resistance lines. Now, when those resistance lines, what are they going to do? When the price moves up to that level, just like it hit support right here, right, and then turn back up, the tendency is it will get rejected first at 1394 to 1400 range. Now, if it blows right through it with really high volume, as you guys can see what's happening also to the volume in the stock, I'm moving my cursor. On its way up, it had massive, massive volume. On its way down, when it's consolidating, it has low volume, which is the right thing to do. That's what's happening. But if it blows through one resistance line, this resistance line becomes not important, but the next one does. And the idea is, once you break out through a resistance line, you should be going to the next level. And if it blows through this next one at 1578, you should expect this stock to go to 1741, right? Does it happen every time? No. But do you watch other things with volume, with RSI, with on-balance volume, all these things? Yes, that's what I do. I watch, right? Is it above the 50-day moving average or below the 50-day moving average? You have to watch all these things and have it makes sense to you. I don't know what else to tell you. But if you do this enough for a few months, you will have a really, really clear handle. And this is just on MicroStrategy. This could be on any stock or any issue or any commodity or any asset class. So these are my favorite stocks, right? Look at Carvana, right? Okay. Is that an uptrend? Absolutely. It goes up, right? And and then it goes sideways, just like Bitcoin is doing. That consolidates and then it breaks out again. I mean, my favorite two stocks actually from the Far East are going to be Alibaba. Alibaba absolutely breaking out. I bought this actually in one of my long-term accounts. Alibaba has been acting horribly for the last, and this is 2-year version of Alibaba, right? And this is 3-year version of Alibaba. And during the pandemic, and this is 5-year version. Look at like when I move the charts around, you guys can see the difference, the picture difference you're getting, right? You're getting an idea where it's been, what it's done, and where it could go. And that's why it's important to look at a bigger picture once in a while. And during the pandemic, Alibaba got up to 320, and then it sold off all the way down to 60, right? Obviously, Jack Ma had some problems with the Chinese government, but seems like they kissed and made up now. It had a massive rally, pullback, but now there was a massive, massive downtrend, dynamic line established from this high to this high. And then that was broken out at 75, and that's when I bought the stock in my long-term holding account. Stock is 81. On any pullback, if you're a buyer holder, I would suggest you buy Alibaba. But this is a very low trade, very very low risk trade, right? I wouldn't recommend trading options on it. That's a different story. But I think Alibaba has completely broken out. It's above the 200-day moving average. It's above the 50-day moving average. It's above resistance. And here's the last static resistance that I actually blew through with really, really good volume. And this is that line right here. It's above it. It's breaking through with very high volume. You guys can see this high volume bar right here. That means there's institutional commitment coming into the equity. And you got to ride the wave with these guys, okay? Because there's big money coming in. And the next one is actually the owner of Temu or Temu. Is it Temu or Temu? I'm not sure. I think it's Temu, right? The Chinese Amazon. And that's called
Pinduoduo, but
yeah, Temu, whatever.
And this is that
company. This
is
that. Yeah, okay. So this is Pinduoduo. It's called PDD Holdings, but the full name is Pinduoduo. So you guys know. And you guys remember in last Super Bowl, remember, Chris? Who had the most commercials? Temu or Temu.
That would have been them, yep.
Yeah, remember? How many, like every other one, like I go, who the hell is this company? Right?
I think a lot of people did, and then they started looking and they're like, oh my God, I can get all this for that price. And then it comes to the door half broken.
Exactly. So that was 2023 January, right? Super Bowl's in January, end of January, right?
Super Bowl was beginning of February.
Beginning of February. Okay, so this is where Temu was, right?
You got to go a year ahead.
Yeah, 2020 or 2022, sorry, right?
No, you're in February 23. Go to February 24. Because that's
no, was it this year? Was it this year or was it last year? I don't think it was this year.
Yeah, there was a lot for this year.
Was it? Okay, so that's December, February 2024. So people had already known, like, okay, again, this is my second favorite from the Asia markets. Okay, this has been already going up. It's already in the market, but it was a $211 number, came all the way down to 30. Am I interested on its way down? Of course I am, because I want to short the crap out of it. But it bottomed, it based, right? So those are the two stocks I'm following, actually. But if you want to buy and hold some things, I mean, these, especially Alibaba, makes a lot of sense to me at the moment because it is based long enough. It went sideways for over a year, and now we are breaking out. I'm easily seeing this thing go up 50% to 120 at least. But again, not a stock advice, not recommendation. I'm just saying what I'm doing, what I'm seeing. Opinions are all different, of course. And here's a couple of more static lines I'll draw where resistance is going to be next one, and then we'll stop. This is going to be the next resistance line. And then the next one is going to be right here. And the final one is going to be, that I'm going to draw today at least, is going to be right here. So you guys see all these lines? This is all the resistance lines. Now, this one was broken out. Now, a resistance line. Okay, do you guys see this? How it went up from 70 to 80. It got rejected. Then went down to 66. Then went back to 80, got rejected. Then went back to 80, got rejected. Then went back to 80 again, got rejected. How many rejections, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 that I can count of. Once it blows through that, now the next target should be about 88 level. And on any pullback to where it broke out of, because old resistance becomes new support, okay? When this stock pulls back from 81 to 77, 76, 78, I'm going to keep adding to it because now an uptrend has been established. What is my risk in this trade? Okay, I'll give you the risk as well. If I bought, I bought it on, Wednesday, Thursday. I bought it at 78, 77. What is my risk? Okay, my risk is below this, the old low at 68. What is that? About 9 points, which is about 12%. I'm risking 12% for this thing to go to 100, 120 possibly. I'll take that risk, 4 to 1, right? So with that said, that's what Sergio is watching. That's what Sergio is trying to do. I will keep you guys posted on Friday with my small Robinhood account, of course. And besides that, if you have any questions, let me see. But what software can we use to draw the lines? Like you could any brokerage software, any. What you're looking at is Street Smart Edge on Schwab, but they're migrating to Thinkorswim, which is Ameritrade. I don't know. I mean, any Robinhood, all of them are offering you that. The other question is, can you talk about broker signals meaning live signal? I'm new to this and like to know what I need to start trading besides Robinhood. You can do Schwab. They all have app versions of their app or PC versions of the software. Robinhood does as well. There's Webull, if you want to, swipe up, swipe down. Ameritrade, which is TD Ameritrade, but Schwab bought them, so they're migrating together now. Look, there's many. There's Lightspeed. There is so many, right? But the reputable ones, I would say, obviously, Schwab is what I've been using for years and years and years. I trust the company, but they're endless, really, and they will offer you all these things. You can draw charts, you can look at charts weekly, daily, monthly, intraday. You can draw all these lines. There's all these tools. It's free. They give it to you for free because they want you to trade, right? They want you to create liquidity. They want you to create, liquidity for their wholesalers. So with that said, it's 11:03. That's an hour. Hope you guys learned something. So if you got the books, keep reading them, keep learning. And then I will keep adding every show, but please stay tuned every Monday and Friday. Power Hour. I'm going to do this for a while. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some mainstream videos out. And also, please subscribe, share the channel. I think I'm doing good. I'm not at the level of that lady that just donated $1 billion to Albert Einstein School of Medicine because her husband invested $10,000 year after year since 1955. What an amazing story. Please go watch that. Please go watch Warren Buffett. Listen to his wisdom. He's 94. He's really coherent still. I hope he hangs in for a lot longer. But, age is age. Thank you, Melvin. And yeah, what a great story. She donated the whole $1 billion she didn't even know she had to the Albert Einstein School of Medicine, paid forward. This is how I'm paying it forward. That's all I can do. Spread the word. Look, man, there are a lot of you jockeys out there. You guys want to listen to them? By all means. They go, oh, I made 50,000. I'm a billionaire. I'm a millionaire. I mean, look, I'm fine. I'm doing fine. I'm not going to say if I'm a millionaire or not, but I'm fine. What I'm saying to you guys is that there is a ways to do this, and you have to build the building blocks. I think Chris said that on the first show. He said, you need a foundation. Otherwise, you're building on quicksand. All these YouTube jockeys are building stuff on quicksand. They're all 23, 24 years old. Oh, I made $1 million. I'm like, great. And then you never hear from them again. It's like, where'd you go? I'm here still. I've been around for 30 plus years. I didn't go broke. I mean, I came close a couple times when the market crashed, but I learned. That's why I don't use margin. That's why I don't use leverage. Look, man, for me, it's not a sprint. At my age, it's a marathon. I'm going to do fine. I mean, I shared with you guys my small account, my big account. What else you guys want me to do? I don't know. So what I'm saying is, please share the channel. Let us get to 1,000 subs. Next goal, right, Chris? Let's see how fast we can do that. And then we'll grow. We'll go from there. So anyway, thank you much appreciated. See you guys on Friday. Power hour number 6. Thumbs up. Give us a like. We'll see you Friday. Hope you guys learned something.